have you ever wished you could just reach inside your body, grab a literal mechanical volume dial, and tune your energy levels to absolute peak performance exactly when you need it? Honestly, who hasn't? Well, today we're going to explore the fascinating biological reality of human optimization. We're going to look at how you can actually master your internal settings and completely change how you handle pressure. Let's start with a really crucial question. What actually happens to your body when you need to perform at your best? When we talk about this biological state of readiness, psychologists and neuroscientists use a word that frankly gets completely misunderstood or narrowly defined in everyday conversation. That word is arousal. We really need to dive deep into the biological reality of how your body preps for action.
In science, physiological arousal is defined as the degree to which an individual is stirred up, energized, and cognitively activated by the autonomic nervous system. It's regulated totally behind the scenes by this network in your brainstem called the Ascending Reticular Activating System. You can think of it like your brain's master switch. So it's not exclusively about sexual behavior at all. Rather, it governs your overall state of biological activation. We're talking about how awake, alert, and intensely focused you are in any given moment.
To truly understand how to tune your performance, we first have to understand the autonomic nervous system. This is the incredible behind-the-scenes machinery managing the physical, automatic changes of our inner volume dial, and it operates on two extremes. On one side, we have the parasympathetic system. This is your body's rest and digest mode. It actively builds and conserves energy, basically keeping you calm by lowering your heart rate and blood pressure. But on the exact opposite side, we have the sympathetic system. This is your famous fight or flight emergency response. When a major threat appears or, a really high-pressure performance task, this system cranks the dial all the way up to 10. It dilates your pupils to let in more light, spikes your heart rate, and literally floods your bloodstream with epinephrine to prep your muscles for immediate, explosive action.
To fully grasp why mastering this is so powerful, consider this idea from the famous Schachter-Singer theory of emotion. It says a student who unexpectedly learns he has made phi beta kappa may experience a state of arousal which he will label joy, while the state of arousal in a dark alley is labeled fear. This highlights something absolutely incredible. The physical feeling of pure terror before a huge presentation and the thrill of intense excitement, they are the exact same biological state of arousal. Your heart races, your pupils dilate, epinephrine floods your system. The only difference, the literal only difference, is the cognitive label your brain attaches to that physical feeling based on the context.
The optimal performance curve. So how does this biological push and pull actually dictate how well we perform under pressure? To answer that, we have to look at a classic psychological concept known as the inverted U function. The absolute key takeaway here is that more biological arousal isn't always better. If you have low arousal, you get low performance. You're sleepy, you kind of lack focus, and your brain just isn't processing environmental cues effectively. But high arousal also equals poor performance. If your dial is turned up entirely too high by that sympathetic nervous system, your thinking becomes heavily disorganized. This is exactly what athletes call clutching or choking under pressure. Sheer panic sets in. So the ultimate goal is to hit that middle ground, moderate arousal. This gives you peak alertness. It's the optimal level where you have just enough energized focus to stay sharp and accurately discriminate complex cues, without being totally overwhelmed by anxiety.
Social facilitation effect. Let's see how this plays out in the real world, because sometimes external factors turn our biological dial up entirely without our permission. The most common one, the presence of other people. Psychologist Robert Zionk's social facilitation theory shows that just having an audience naturally increases your baseline physiological arousal. But does that extra arousal actually help or hurt you? Well, it depends entirely on the task. If you're performing a dominant or well-learned task, think of a world-class athlete running a race, that group-induced arousal pushes you right up into your peak performance zone. Your performance is enhanced. But if you're performing a weak or poorly learned task, like a beginner trying to play their very first piano recital, that exact same audience spikes your arousal way past the optimal level, and the result? Impaired performance and a whole lot of fumbled notes.
Timing your biological clock. Okay, so an audience shifts your dial, for sure. But what about time? It turns out the physical time of day automatically adjusts our baseline arousal too, and it ties directly into our natural internal rhythms. See, your body operates on a two-process model of sleep regulation: circadian rhythms and homeostatic pressure. Essentially, you've got two competing forces inside you. Your circadian rhythm is a clock keeping you awake, while your homeostatic pressure is a sleep drive that continuously builds up the longer you stay awake.
You know that extreme afternoon slump we all get? That dip happens because your homeostatic sleep pressure has been building all day long, and your circadian arousal hasn't quite peaked yet to counteract it. Your biological dial is literally forcing a slowdown in your arousal. To put that into perspective, around 5 a.m., your core body temperature hits its absolute lowest point, its nadir. This is when sleepiness is at its maximum and physiological arousal is practically at zero. As the daytime progresses, your temperature naturally rises, and your cognitive function and arousal hit their absolute peak. Then, we hit that late afternoon dip we just talked about. The major takeaway here: don't attempt your most critical, high-pressure, peak performance tasks at 5 a.m. or during that late afternoon crash. You will literally be fighting against your own biological baseline.
Steps to peak performance. We are finally at the climax of our explainer. We know what arousal is, we know we want it perfectly balanced in the moderate middle, and we know it fluctuates. But how do we manually override and control this biological dial? What are the actual steps to be in optimal arousal for better performance when the pressure's really on? Well, here are 3 actionable, clinically proven steps for downregulating your arousal to force you back into that optimal zone. Step 1 is progressive relaxation. By alternately tensing and relaxing specific muscle groups, you actively trigger the parasympathetic nervous system, that calming system we discussed earlier, to take the wheel. Step 2 is meditation. By focusing intensely on your breathing, you systematically lower your heart rate, decrease your oxygen consumption, and physically drop your levels of the stress hormone cortisol. And finally, step 3 is systematic desensitization. This is where you gradually expose yourself to a hierarchy of the exact stressors that make you anxious. You start incredibly small, all while maintaining that relaxed state. You are literally training your nervous system to substitute relaxation in place of panic. It is a real game changer.
Which brings us to our final and probably most provocative thought for today. If excitement and anxiety are the exact same biological state, which one will you choose to feel? The next time your heart starts pounding and your palms start sweating before a major event, I want you to remember that your body is simply giving you the energy you need to succeed. You have the tools now to grab that internal dial, reframe your stress as excitement, downregulate if you need to, and take ultimate control of your performance. Check out our channel for more videos and subscribe.